Sup, brother? How we doing
What's up,
today?
brother?
It's Saturday, Tuesday.
Saturday,
Special plays, special teams, special
special teams,
players.
special players.
How we doing today, man?
We're doing good, dude. How are you
I'm
doing
good.
today?
Hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer?
Why is that?
Because she kept running away from the ball.
That's a good one. You know what my dream job is?
No, what's that?
To clean mirrors. I mean, I can just really see myself doing that.
Oh, man. Well, we're talking about careers today coming up, and I chose PE as one of my careers. So do you know what sprinters eat before they race?
What's that?
Nothing. They fast.
They fast. Boy, that one's original.
Hey,
You know, one thing that I never can seem to trust?
no, what's that?
Stairs. I don't trust stairs, dude, because they're always up to something.
All right. Dad joke era session 1. All right, homie.
Completed. That's in the books.
You ready to get corrected?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's go. This is Let's Stand Correct, or We Stand Corrected.
We stand
That's
corrected.
right. Now We Stand Corrected, episode 7. Froze up there for a second. We're coming in today because we talked a little bit about how we met, in our prior stories, but we all should probably know how you started your career there.
I started back in 2002, full time, but part time. I started for the same organization I'm with in high school, cleaning school buildings at nights. So I did that for 2 years, and after I graduated high school, I moved into groundskeeping at a park and rec department.
And were you like, this is the profession for me when you got in there? Or were you just like, you know what, I can keep my retirement going at this time at 18 and knowing that the retirement's so good? And
a lot was the benefits in the retirement. I mean, it's hard to beat, school district and para-retirement. And the medical benefits are pretty good too. But what I really liked about it was I get to do something different every single day. It was never the same thing every day, day in and day out.
So when you were hired, were you just straight the irrigation guy right away?
No, I started out doing athletic fields.
Oh, really?
I was,
I didn't even...
dragging and lining. And no, I worked with our other buddy that we talk about sometimes.
Yeah. Did you...
dragging.
So did you start as like the full-time lead then, or did you work up to that position at 18?
No, right out of high school, I was just a utility person.
So you were like me,
and then
when I met you.
Yep. Yeah, kind of. I was full-time. I wasn't seasonal. But I started out doing that, and I did that for, 15 years, I think. And then when the opportunity came about, I was able to step into the grounds lead position.
Right, but...
and started getting more into the management side of things.
Before then, though, I guess my point was like, all right, so you were full-time at 18 straight out of high school, but you started as just kind of like do whatever was needed type guy, right? Is that what you were saying?
Uh-huh.
So you had parks, ball fields, irrigation. Those were the main three back then.
I would mow and weed eat and do ball fields and clean and whatever needed done, mechanical work, cleaning shop, washing vehicles.
Basically just learning the ropes.
Exactly.
And then the irrigation position came open. Is that what kind of happened?
Irrigation opened up, and I always thought that looked like a cakewalk, and I thought, man, if that guy can do that, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I learned more from taking on irrigation than I did anything else in my job.
Well, that was always the hardest job, though. It seemed like you were always digging holes.
Oh, there was a lot more to it than I thought, but if I had it to do again, I wouldn't change a thing, because it taught me a lot. I learned some electrical, some plumbing, some, got licensed in backflows.
Yeah, and those are things you need around the house. So.
Right, and I mean, it got me where I am. It was part of my qualifications to be where I'm at now.
Yeah. So how long were you a part of like the like utility situation where you would just float before you got that position?
Gosh, I want to start in '02. It was probably 14 or 15 years.
No, well, like what I mean, so like, yeah, and I know you were there 14, 15 years, but you were doing ball fields, parks, and then when you got hired on as just the irrigation guy, right?
Oh,
Like,
how long did I do
yeah. So
irrigation?
when did you start there? And then obviously, I know you progressed and got that head
Well,
lead there.
probably, probably, I did irrigation for I think 10
Yeah,
years, 10 of
because
the 15.
when I got there in 06, you were already in irrigation. Like you were the man.
Yeah.
You were the man, and you didn't want me on your team. You just kind of booted me
So
to the side. Said this kid ain't good enough for me. I don't need him.
he tried to kill me. He tried to run me over with a mower.
Well, people should probably catch up
But
on that story because I found out you were a Trump guy, a Trumpster.
only one to vote for, Joseph. You're going to learn one of these days. It's going to be a sad, sad day in November, you know.
Oh man. Yep. And then irrigation came along, and then here I came, 18 years old, and you all put me on the ball field sucking in all that dirt 5 days a week, 6 days a week, spinning. But I always remember you digging a hole somewhere.
Oh, dude, irrigation was no joke, especially when you're doing commercial irrigation and doing much of it by yourself. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Dig a hole the size of a dumpster.
Yeah. And then you had your boy with you, little Squeak. Remember Squeak?
Yeah, he worked with me for a while, and he was a pretty good help for the most part.
Yeah.
I can't say for 100%, but
He was actually the
he
one
was
that
good.
recommended me to you guys when I saw you guys in the gym when I was telling you that story.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I
back
didn't know that.
the career fair and all that. Yeah. Yeah. He was like, you got to come work over here because you know how Squeak was. Squeak was
Oh yeah.
all about persuasion and equation.
Oh yeah, he still is. Still is. Yeah.
So he persuaded me to come work over there, and that's how I met you. And I remember our buddy, the lead of ball fields, got so mad at him. Remember this? And I don't remember what he did to make him mad. And my man filled up,
Lots of things.
yes, and mixed up a good amount of things in a bucket and was going to dump it on this guy. And he was probably not going to grow a hair on his ass the rest of his life if he got hit with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad he didn't do it because I think he probably would have got fired for doing that.
Yeah, probably so. So, anyways, we continue on, and you end up in what was that position called when you got the opportunity after irrigation, being the lead, the main guy?
So it was a utility lead position. So it was basically a head groundsman, but I overseed all the maintenance.
Right.
It's not just really grounds, so it was a little bit of everything, really.
But that's not what that position was originally called, was it? When the old boss was let go?
No, they changed. He had a little bit different role. He did more of what I do now.
Uh-huh.
So they changed the position a little bit. So it was a little bit less administrative now than it was then.
Right. And then so that puts you in there. So basically you were in charge of the hiring of grounds and, in charge of what was going on.
Yep, the day-to-day operation of the grounds crew.
Because by that time I was fully gone.
Yeah. Oh, you were gone for a while.
Yeah.
Well, 2 or 3 years. Yeah. But day-to-day operations and planning and scheduling and hiring and finding people and all that good stuff.
And then you guys started building that new building, which is a beautiful building.
We started on the new recreation facility, and I came across a opportunity to take over the head of maintenance for that. And now I oversee both departments, grounds and custodial and contractors and everything.
Nice. Yeah, and that lets you into, doing more electrical, HVAC. I mean, you got a whole repertoire of things you got to get out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. I learned a lot about a lot. a little about it, everything.
You know, you should tell one of your most memorable stories about your family member that used to be one of our bosses there.
Oh man, my uncle was he's probably the one that is responsible for getting me into this field. He was a very colorful individual. He had some of the funniest sayings ever.
And
I'm sure you could even recite some of them.
Yeah, but you have hundreds, and I don't even know how you recite them. And you do his voice so well.
Oh gosh, let me think here.
And you got to do it in that. And you got to do it in that Oklahoma.
I'll do the
Okay.
I'll do the voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I promise. So one time, me and my cohort that was working on ball fields with me. This was like right after I started working there. We're out on field 2, and we're supposed to be chalking the field to get it ready for games that night. And it was hot, dude. It was probably 100 degrees, and we were standing out there having a drink of water and just kind of shooting the shit for a little while. And I see him leave the shop, and he comes, the ball field that we were on was right in front of the shop. So he was sitting in there watching us stand there and shoot the shit. He comes marching out on the field, comes walking across the outfield, and I said, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Now, God damn it, I'd have to come out here and hammer a fucking stake in the ground right next to your goddamn foot, and then walk back to the shop and come back and move the motherfucker about 5 feet and hammer back and then leave and come back again, just so I could make myself think that you done moved. So in other words, pull the lead out of your ass and get this fucking field done."
Oh.
And he turned around. That's all he said. He turned around and walked out. And we were laughing so hard we could hardly even get the field done, man. We were getting gut aches from laughing at him.
Yeah, he was a funny guy. I remember.
God, he was funny.
I remember when he had that red truck. I think did he have that the whole time? I don't remember, but
he had it for a long time.
JJ hopped in the back at the end of the day, because he left an hour early because he'd come in an hour early. I think, what did he go home at, like 2:00 every day or 2:30?
Yeah, I think it was at 2.
And JJ hopped in the back, and it was a club cab, right? And so he laid down back there, remember?
Laid down on the floor in the back seat.
Yes, and he's working his way up the hill to the parking lot, and we see his head peek up, and he looks out the back, and he's like looking at us, waving, right? You remember this? And he puts his head back down, and he gets to the top of the hill in the parking lot, and you can just hear him yell out the window, "God damn it, get the fuck out of here."
He sat up in the back seat and scared the shit out of him. What the fuck?
Oh, that was hilarious.
You see the truck turn around real slow. He drives him back to the shop. Oh, he was funny, man. One time I took an irrigation marker flag and I had it stuck between the bed light and the cab on one of the work trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd get to going, the flag would start flapping in the wind, and it would rub on the backside of the cab and it would make like this rattling, clunking noise. And I put it in there, and it had been there for like a month.
Uh-huh.
And
was this in that white?
I forgot all about it.
That white Chevy,
yeah,
the flatbed,
the little stick shift.
Oh, it was a stick.
And I see him get in the truck, and he drives it up the hill, and he's going in the parking lot, and he goes like a bat out of hell. Then he'd slam on the brakes and get out and walk around and look underneath it. He did this 3 or 4 times. And I finally got on the radio, and I said, "Man," I said, "what's going on? What are you doing?" "This goddamn thing sounds like the fucking clutch is going to fall plumb out of it." It was that goddamn flag I put up.
Wait, was it just spinning around the axle? Is that what it was, or what? Where did you say you put it?
It was up on the roof.
Oh,
so it was rubbing on the cab of the truck when it would get moving.
I got you. Because your other boy used to play a prank that worked with you in irrigation, and a little red bearded ginger boy. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He would go put zip ties under people's axles, trying to get back at them. So you'd hear that click every time it rotated around.
Your drive shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll put one of them heavy duty long zip ties on there, and then you back up and you go.
Yep. And that was all because, remember, we found blocks of ice out doing a trash run one morning. Those huge ass.
Oh, that's right.
And he had that old, was it a Chevy? I don't know, it was like 70s, 60s Chevy lifted.
I think so.
And it was like a July day hot, and we put them in there. And by the time lunchtime came around,
On the seat.
on the seat, yes. Thanks for clarifying. And we put them in there, and by noon, it looked like a waterfall was just running out of the side of the fucking truck.
We used to do some bad shit, man.
Oh man.
You remember pouring water in all the seats in the break room?
Yeah, when people would go sit down like in the morning and you'd get up with a wet ass.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Start your day out like
Yeah,
that.
start your day with a wet ass. Usually you end with wet feet, and then you start with a wet ass, and then you end with a wet ass and wet feet.
Or soak the seat in the truck with water and rub it in so you couldn't tell it was soaking wet.
Yes. There was so much dumb shit we did.
It was fun, though. It was one of the high points of my career. I always enjoyed it. What got you into your line of work? I know we've talked about it a little bit, but you're in public education also.
Yeah. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, honestly, when I was in high school. It took me a long time to figure it out. What I did know is I had baseball, right? So I was playing baseball every weekend. I knew I was going to college to play baseball. And then so when I got 18 and I started working with you guys, you guys put me on ball field. So I was like, oh, great. Like, passion with ball. Like, I can make these fields look good. Because at that time, I mean, those ball fields, I don't know how they still stack up down there, but they were some of the best at the time when we got there.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And so, going with that and continuing with that, and then off to college, and I get to in the enrollment period, and they're like, what do you want to study? And I'm like, I don't know. And she was like, well, a good one is PE. If you like playing sports. And I was like, yeah, I enjoyed PE. This is one thing I wish I would have thought out more, but I wasn't very like hands-on at a younger age because I was playing so much more ball, so I didn't find a passion right away. My only passion was ball. So I was like, okay, let's just do PE because I'm here to play baseball. The goal, the dream was I'm not going to stop playing. And so get to playing ball, and I'm going on this course through playing ball and PE, and I get to a point in college and I'm like, fuck, I'm burnt. I am fucking burnt. Like it wasn't fun, and I just was burned out. And then by the time I got done with the school year and ball was over, I was having to go back, to work with you guys and then play in summer leagues, and summer leagues were in Denver. So I was working, going to Denver, and I'm like, something's got to give, like I was burnt out, homesick, mentally, just didn't know how to handle it. So I ended up dropping ball, and I transferred to CSU Pueblo just to continue with the PE segment. And I got a call one day from one of the baseball coaches that used to coach me down here, and he was like, well, you should come coach. I got an opening position. So took the JV team, and at that point I was still, I don't even think I was 20. I might have been 20, 21. And I had no idea how to like lead kids. I mean, I'm still so close in age, man. I was, like 3-4 years off from them, and I'm coming in here to lead a program, and these kids like took my wing. And this first year came in and I got to pick my team, as JV. And I kind of ran my own tryout, like, cause they had their own thing. And it was so weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you want to do the whole program? So I took all the kids that weren't going to make varsity, and I made the whole JV team and the freshman team with a couple others that, and, I think I took the majority of freshmen on this team, and we got the shit beat out of us this year. Like, we went 6-10 my first year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I got the shit beat out of me. And, but I came back the next year and with the same boys, and I started 8-0. 8-0. And that's when I knew like these kids like bought into everything I told them last year. And that's how much they grew.
That's awesome.
So I was like, maybe this is it. Like, I don't even know like how I was doing it. I was like, am I relating more to them? You know, like here I am 8-0. I go from 6-10. I start out 8-0, you know, and I think I finished that year 12-4 or something like that, you know? So, I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, like I'm riding sky high. Like I got like confidence to lead, confidence to grow. Like it built confidence in myself. Cause you know me at that young age, I was just this quiet dude that wouldn't say shit, dude.
Yeah.
And it kind of grew me in a lot of ways, you know,
It's
mentally
a rewarding
and
thing.
personally. And I was coaching on my own at those 2 times. Like I was by myself. I didn't have help. I didn't have an assistant. And then one of the buddies I used to play ball with in high school and play with in college, I was like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" And then it was his and my show, and we got on. And you know, by the time I had these kids at 12-4, they were moving up to varsity now, and now I got a whole new set of kids. And I come in and we redo the same process, but this time I went 8-8. So instead of starting out getting my ass beat, I was 8-8. And then I go into my last year coaching and I'm finishing my college up, right? And these kids start out the exact same way, same heat, same hotness, same everything. And a little backstory, I'm going to go backwards a little bit. There was this guy.
Sure.
So the first year I coached, before I was like the official JV coach, he asked me to take the summer program and coach the summer program before, you know, we head into the spring. And so I asked our good buddy Logs, because Logs was with us, you know, working down there at the time.
Yeah.
And Logs came out and he's like, "Yeah, I'll coach with you," because he was playing college ball too. And there was this guy, played at WP. I don't know if you know those initials. If you think,
Yeah.
okay. And the coach there, fucking jackass, man, this jackass. And he ended up earning the nickname from me, Captain Hook, because he was missing his arm, but he'd walk in with a hook. So I'd call him Captain fucking Hook. And this guy would come in and try and persuade and run his mouth to the whole crew, like upsetting everybody. This is like what he did. This was his thing. And so, like, Logs and our team, we kicked the shit out of him. And 10-run rule, both games. And he's upset. And he was really upset by how Logs treated him. And I don't remember why he treated him like that, but I don't think he like shook his hand or something at the end, and he took it very disrespectfully, but this guy was being a fucking jerk. And so Logs goes on to college, and I take this team into spring. Well, guess who I'm playing?
Of course.
So this guy, Captain Hook, remembers me, right? And I got that 6-10 team, right? I'm not there. And this guy comes in, beats the living shit out of us. He beat the living shit out of us. And in baseball, when you hit the 5th inning and you're losing by 10 runs, you know, they have what's called the 10-run rule. Well, they're up 9 runs in the 5th inning.
Oh God.
And this fucker drops a squeeze bunt on me. And I don't know if you know baseball terms. Squeeze bunt is a play. Yeah. The kid on third steals home, the batter bunts to end the fucking game. And in baseball lingo, baseball IQ, that's a cock-blooded way to win a fucking game when you're already kicking somebody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked up to him.
It's like we're throwing dirt in the wound.
So I walked up to him and I said that at the end, I shook all his kids' hands and I said that was and I whispered in his ear so nobody else heard this. And I took him in, and granted, I'm 20 years old at this time. And I said that was a fucking horseshit way to win that fucking game. I said, you could kick my ass any other way. Swing the goddamn bat. And he looked at me and he goes, well, I didn't have no control over what they did. And I said, you're the fucking coach. And I walked away. So I ended up playing these guys again like a week later, and I got to go to their place. And their varsity coach comes up to me.
Not awkward at all.
But their varsity coach comes up to me because he's unlocking the field, and he goes, hey, what happened? And I told him that story that I just told you. He goes, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I'm going to get rid of him. And I didn't talk to him after that. That's what he said. So this guy beats my ass again, right? Beats my ass. And I was going to take my ass whooping anyways. I knew I was going up there to get my ass kicked. And The next year rolls around, and I'm on my 12-0 skid, right? Or my 8-0 skid. And I'm coming. Like, I remember all this shit, and we get to their field, we take the bus up. And, I'm prepping my guys like, hey, and I'm straightforward. I'm like, this guy's a piece of shit, and he's going to try and get you
Right.
mentally. So we get to the field, and the head varsity coach is there, and he goes, I told you I'd get rid of him. So
and he was gone,
gone. But check this out. So I get into my final year of coaching, right? I told you I brought my boy in. He was working with us. I don't know if you remember Little Wee Man. People called him Little Wee Man. He was working with us. BD.
Oh, yeah.
And I brought him in to coach with me. And last game of the year, last game I ever coached baseball. Guess where we're at?
Same place.
We go up to WP. And I look over, and you won't believe who I see coaching this team.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So this guy came back because the varsity coach was gone. And so my guys are warming up, and I like called like this meeting, and I said, hey, because we got a doubleheader. It's Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is very important. I need y'all to listen. I said, this guy is going to come in and try and rattle your head all game. He's going to make you very upset, no matter what you do, no matter what calls are played. He is going to be a verbal guy that is going to come in here and try and change the way you think. And so I told him these stories. Before, I didn't even care about warm-ups. I cared about the mental prep of this game. And this game started, and it was all like I remembered, and it was all like I told him. And I said, boys, it's going to keep going. Don't let them get in your head. And so we go up, and we're up big. This is my good year, right? Like, I've built these boys up for a year, and I got a guy on second, and I'll never forget this. And I get a kid that hits the ball up the middle, and I'm waving him home, waving him in. Got one out, and I'm sending them home, and they got a big catcher at the plate. And their center fielder put a good throw on the ball to the catcher, and the catcher comes in and goes and pushes our guy like off to the side. And this Captain Hook comes out, and he's like pointing his finger going, yeah, you did this. And he's trying to knock out my catcher. And our crowd goes apeshit, like, over what this catcher did to our kid coming into the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we end up winning this game 12-5. But
nice.
Things are hot. Things are hot.
There's tension in the air.
There's tension with families, because I didn't even think about prepping families about this. I prepped my kids for this. So as we're in between games, something happens outside where they're all running their mouths. And next thing I know, families are getting in fights.
Oh my God.
And once our kids saw families were getting in fights, the kids were getting in fights. So the kids were trying to beat the shit out of all of them. And that's how
nothing like a good high school baseball game.
That's how you go out on top, buddy. You beat the shit out of Captain Hook, and you walk out right there. And we didn't even make it to the second game.
That's awesome.
So, that was part of it, just watching the growth. And I ended up finishing college because at this point, I just got a job in Pueblo. And so coaching at that point was done for me, because I couldn't commute, and I couldn't do a job and then commute back, and it was just too much time. Right. So
right.
I quit there. And at that point I was like, this is it. And I've been in like 4 or 5 different schools and grown, and I've been in hard schools, good schools, back to hard schools. And so nothing more rewarding, because if you can teach at a hard school, you can teach anywhere.
I can imagine, dude. That's one thing I can tell you I would never be able to do is work with kids like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got stories. And my very first year teaching, I think I had just like shaved my head to where like I didn't have hair because I was losing my hair. But I kept it just, I don't know, maybe like a centimeter tall at that time. And I had this kid come up to me, and I'll never forget this. And it's just me and him, and he's in my gym, and I don't know why he came early. I don't remember. And he goes, "Coach, are you Jewish?" And he says it serious face. I'm like, "Jewish? No, why?" He's like, "Well, you got that spot on your head where the yarmulke goes." And I was like, "Damn." He got me with my receding hair. And so it's just stuff like that that sticks with you. Like, and he was straight serious. He wasn't even trying to like insult me. Like, I think he wanted to know.
Yeah, kids are funny. I know I always enjoy in my line of work, and I try to partner up with the preschools, and we have like a touch a truck event for the kids.
Yeah.
Where we bring, some tractors and some big trucks up and let them climb on them and see inside and all that. And those kids just have a ball.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just fun to watch them.
Yeah.
But so is there anything that you would have done differently, or would you, if you had it to do again, would you do the same thing?
Well, and I think that's the thing is like my skills have grown so much now, like being a homeowner, and that's really what grew like my more hands-on skills is because then I started learning to fix things. And
Your nunchuck skills?
yeah, I don't know, like I like fixing things now, like I don't mind dealing with electrical or plumbing, any of that.
Right.
I'd tackle a lot of that. I even redid a shower now, so I don't know, like all that comes fun to me now. And yeah, I think I would go a different direction, but I'm happy where I'm at though too.
That's all that matters. If you can go to work and enjoy what you do every day, it's not really like work.
No, and people talk about teachers as, well, you guys don't make enough money, and that's what everyone says that I said I teach, and everyone always goes, "I wish they paid you more," and you go, "Yeah, but there are ways to work up through too, and you and I have had little talks about like unions and why they're important to education, and not all unions are good, but unions have helped like my educational pay and strategy through the years is from what I've learned, to make it on my own. So
absolutely.
But what are you drinking tonight? Anything?
I had a little bit of ice water just a bit ago. I think I'm gonna find something a little bit more strong here in a minute.
Is that right?
I've got some Hornitos tequila and some ice. I'm gonna put it on ice with a little slice of lime in there and just sip on it tonight.
There you go. I told you I got this little device called Draft Top.
Yeah.
Looks like a little Buzz Lightyear plane, flies around going. But
Star Command.
Yep, Star Command. Do you read me? Star Command. But I was opening it today. It's actually pretty slick because you know me. I like when I drink beer, I like to put the green olives in the beer. And so instead of pouring it in the glass, this thing allows you to take the whole top of the can off, and then you can just drop her in, man.
And because you showed me this trick, but we used your mom's can opener at the time.
Didn't we tell this story?
And it really, I think it changes the way the beer tastes. I think it tastes more like a draft beer that way.
It changes the game. That's why I bought it. Changes the game. It's almost like a good old school Applebee's beer that we used to go have down in
man, we're gonna have to go hit up the happy hour again sometime.
Yeah. When the happy hour was good.
Make a point of doing that.
Yeah. And then
oh yeah, man, when they used to have buy one get one free, and we'd stay down there until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Or back when we used to go down there and then we ended up taking an Uber to B Street.
Yeah, we won't get too far into that one, but for those of you that don't know Colorado Springs, B Street's probably, not really the premier place around here. So
there's a premier place.
I'd stay away from there. yeah, there is.
Oh my gosh. All right, homie. We hit that 35-minute mark. So I think we got us a good show in
All right.
today.
Well, I think so. You know, we're going to keep rolling at it. And for those of you that happen to listen to us, you know, please subscribe and follow us. And we're on all the major platforms. So please give us a listen. And if it's something you like,
Yeah,
continue to listen to it.
us some questions too. I mean, we can even put your question on air and talk.
Check out the Facebook and the Instagram pages as well. There's more information on our email address and some contact information on there.
Yep, for sure. All right, buddy. Till we meet again.
All right. Sounds good, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're staying corrected.
We stand corrected.